What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the first video in cashing in on short-term rentals. I'm super excited to share this with you guys. I've been working on this for the last 6-8 months or so. This video series is brought to you by my company, which is the Build Don't Buy Short-Term Rental Masterclass, and then also the Strategic Advisory Board. So what the goal of this 12-part series is essentially to give you guys a launching pad to short-term rental development and short-term rental management. And that's what I mainly focus on. So a little bit of background about me. So I started in the Marine Corps when I served in the Marine Corps, joined when I was 18 years old. And about a year before I left the military, what I realized was I didn't want to re-enlist. And so I just started reading a lot on short-term rental books, on real estate books, on any type of real estate I could get my hold of. I was attracted to real estate because I enjoyed the control over it. And I had originally joined like a flipping houses mentorship. And I was on a group coaching call, and the gentleman that ran the mentor program, he had said that all of his long-term wealth was tied into short-term rentals. This was back in 2015 or 16. And so I got on a one-on-one coaching call with him, and I was like, I'm super interested. I'm interested in the flipping, but I'm more interested in the short-term rentals because I had done my research and I saw what type of money these properties were making, just crazy numbers. And he actually showed me some of his numbers as well. We got, all right, we can cut that. So he helped me actually choose a market. And he taught me different ways on how to choose a market. And we actually decided on the market that I currently live in now, which is Asheville, North Carolina. And so I moved here the day I got out of the military, got my real estate license, and I started looking for a property for myself. And what I realized really quickly was everything was either way out of my price range or it was in my price range, but there was nothing unique about it. It wouldn't have done well as a short-term rental. Maybe as a long-term rental if I would just put like a tenant in there for like 12 months at a time, but nothing unique about the properties I could afford at that time. So I did, after like 6 to 8 months of looking, my very first property, I decided to build, and my very first property was a short-term rental development. And that took about like eight to 10 months with furnishing to get this property out of the ground. But my goal with this one is in this video is to sort of share with you guys what's possible. Because right now we're developing over $10 million in real estate, and I personally own $15 million in specifically just in short-term rentals. That's the assets under management we have is 15 million, and it's all in short-term rentals. And I built that portfolio just in about like 5 or 6 years. But you can start off with like 1 or 2, 3 properties. And like I'm very confident from what I'm going to show you guys today that 3 properties can completely retire you, like give you the financial freedom to sort of do whatever you want. Because that's what the first 3 did for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over. And this video is just going to be showing you guys just a case study in one of my very first properties. So this is the very first property we built, and I love using this one as an example. So this property, it has 235 reviews, and it rents for about anywhere between $230 to $400 a night. And I'm gonna break down all my numbers for you guys, but I just wanted to show you guys some photos of this property. So it's an A-frame in the mountains, in the woods. There's some drone footage. Beautiful, beautiful property. That's the inside. It's very small too. It's like an 800 square foot property. So I just wanted to show you guys this, and I'm going to break down some of my numbers. So this property netted last year, or gross last year, that means the top line number, grossed $82,000. And then after all bills were paid, after my mortgage was paid on this property, which I'll talk about how to get those in a later video, after all my bills were paid, this property made $46,000 in my pocket. What was left after paying all bills? $46,000 just off of one property. And like I said, like imagine if you had 3 of these properties. That's over $130,000 that's left in your pocket just by building 3 of these. Say 3 takes you a couple years, maybe 1 or 2 years. The first one took me a year, but if you build all 3 of them together, you build 3 of them that net you anywhere between $35,000 to $50,000 a year. and you're pretty much set to do whatever you want, or at least figure out like I I feel pretty comfortable that you can be financially free on 120, $150,000. Um, that's just been my experience in my opinion. But I want to break down some of these numbers for you guys. So I'm going to switch over to my iPad, my little whiteboard, my digital whiteboard, and I'm going to show you guys. So it netted. So in my pocket, it netted 46,000. So what does that mean? So it like what do the numbers look like? So it cost with purchasing the land, with furnishing, and with everything, it costs 250,000 with building, furnishing, and purchasing the land. And I'll talk about I don't want this to scare you guys in any way, because I'm going to be talking about how to find land, how to find markets, how to find properties, how to find partners if you don't have any money or your credit is shot. And here's the fun thing. I have, outside of this very first one, I've put none of my own money into my current deals that I'm doing. And again, we're developing $10 million worth of real estate that I have ownership in, and I have partners in the deals that put in all of the money, and I'll show you guys how to do that in later videos. But for now, this property costs $250,000 to build. And these numbers were done prior to COVID, so I would add anywhere between 20 to 30% to these numbers. But even adding that to these numbers, you're still going to be way ahead. So 250,000 to build, and the property netted 46,000. So my down payment plus all of the furnishing costs was about, let's be a little conservative here and say $40,000 with my down payment and furnishing. I think furnishings came out to be about like 15 grand, and then whatever my down payment was, just say 40 grand. I put 40 grand into this deal. Again, I don't want this number to scare you guys, because I'm going to teach you guys how to raise capital from investors, how to put those deals together. And it's super, super, super simple, where you're not putting your own money into the deals. So 40,000 of my own money, of other people's money, whatever, put 40,000 into the deal, and it just one time, and it brings $46,000 a year. For my numbers, people out there, that's a cash on cash return. And you guys can Google what that means, but that's an annual cash on cash return of over 100%. Again, these numbers were done prior to COVID, but even if you got an ROI, a return on investment of 80% a year, that's still insane after COVID. Even with higher interest rates, right now we're purchasing properties like as of recording this, I think interest rates are in the commercial space are hovering anywhere between 7.5% to 8%, and we're still purchasing properties and building properties because we're finding them to still be profitable after we underwrite them. And that's the power of this, is building these unique properties. I'm going to switch over to just here. Building these unique properties, I like to say Instagrammable properties where people would be proud to put on their social media, are essentially recession proof. These properties did well during COVID. These properties are doing well in this current correction we're going through. And I'm pretty confident, because we're building $10 million worth of real estate, I'm pretty confident that these properties will continue to do well 5, 10, even 15 years in the future. Short-term rentals have been around forever. Don't let these like regulations or anything scare you, or hey, we're in a recession and short-term rentals aren't making money. Like before Airbnb and VRBO, the short-term rentals have been around for hundreds of years. But like in the 80s and 90s, you just had to pick up a phone and call a property manager to book a short-term rental. So the way booking these properties has gotten easier, and that's what sort of put short-term rentals in the spotlight. But again, like I said, this first video was just to show you guys how to what to expect in this 12-part series. Again, this is video number 1. I just wanted to start off by just showing you guys what is possible with these properties that you can develop or purchase. And then in the next video, what we're going to be talking about is market analysis. So again, I hope you guys are excited, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks.